Hi there, I'm Kevin from Rebuilders. If you initiated your divorce, you might be experiencing a unique form of guilt that can be especially difficult to process. Today, we're exploring the Initiator's Guilt exercise from our Divorce Recovery Workbook, a specialized tool for those who made the decision to end the marriage. Whether you're questioning if you made the right choice, feeling responsible for your ex-partner's pain, or struggling with judgment from others, this exercise helps you work through initiator guilt in a healthy way. So this exercise addresses a specific challenge faced by divorce initiators. How to acknowledge the impact of your decision without being crushed by excessive guilt. So let me explain what an initiator is. A lot of times in divorce, the person who is the first one to raise the question of divorce a lot of times is what we would call the initiator. Now, Bruce Fisher, in the Bruce Fisher book, refers to this as the dumper, but we like the term initiator simply because it captures more of what really happens in a relationship. A lot of times, the person who initiates is the one who's been thinking about divorce for a long time. Rarely does that person just suddenly say, I want a divorce, and that's it. There's been things that have been happening probably for a lot of times many years. In the US, 2/3 of divorces are initiated by women. Now, you could read into a lot of reasons for that and make up what that means. It's just one of those statistics that's interesting. But it does tend to follow in terms of who the initiator is and how this all plays out. The initiators tend to feel a lot of guilt around making this decision to end the marriage. And what I've seen in talking to lots of people who have gone through this is they've thought about it for years. So a lot of times the initiator is the person who's been grieving for a really long time. They don't feel as intense of a pain, but they still feel this guilt. They may feel this sense of, I'm the one who ended this and caused, a lot of times for the other person, a lot of pain. And not always, sometimes it's very clear. This exercise is for those people who are kind of the initiators for starting the divorce. Again, not everybody is the case. I worked with a client who initiated her divorce after years in an unhappy marriage. She told me, I knew leaving was the right decision, but I felt like a monster for causing so much pain. After working through this guilt exercise, she was able to find a balanced perspective that acknowledged her ex's pain without denying her own need for a healthier life. So if you're finding this helpful so far, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more divorce recovery guidance. Now let's continue with how to apply this to your specific situation. One of the things we talk about is that there's a lot of reasons to feel guilty. And so one of the things we did was, I see a lot of people that feel guilty about this, is that they've been giving a long time to the relationship and feeling like they haven't gotten anything back or they're unhappy. And, we see this idea that people say a lot of people believe in the idea of till death do us part. They're saying, I broke that promise to myself. They feel guilty about that. One of the things that we talk about, and it's just that golden rule of love thy neighbor as thyself. A lot of times, whether you're religious or not, you have that sense of things. But what people often misinterpret around that idea is they think love thy neighbor as thyself. Really, the original idea behind this was to love thy neighbor, or they love thy neighbor before thyself, right? In other words, we say, I've got to give to everybody else before I give to me. And that ultimately leaves people feeling unsatisfied, unhealthy, feeling like all they do is give. The idea is to understand and take a little bit of time to understand that you may be feeling guilty here and that you've got to put yourself first, not in a selfish way, but in terms of if you aren't strong, if you aren't healthy, you can't take care of others. The other analogy that we hear all the time is the airplane analogy, right? You've got to put the mask on yourself first in order to be able to take care of others. Guilt is one of those things where we feel like we've done something wrong, but we haven't. Sometimes I've seen relationships that are so unhealthy, so toxic, and people hold so strongly to their values that I said this is forever. What they didn't say was, I won't tolerate abuse, I won't tolerate being treated poorly forever. The other person basically treats them as, you said forever, so I can do anything to you that I want. So that's more about setting boundaries, saying this is not okay. This initiator's exercise is just one of over 60 powerful tools included in the Rebuilder's Divorce Recovery Workbook. What makes this approach different is that we address the specific emotional challenges faced by divorce initiators, rather than offering generic advice that doesn't speak to your specific situation. The workbook guides you through targeted exercises like this one, while also providing practical strategies for navigating the complex emotions and social dynamics that come with being the one who initiated the divorce. I hope this explanation of this exercise gives you a path towards self-forgiveness and peace with your decision. Remember, making a difficult choice to pursue a healthier life doesn't make you selfish or cruel. It makes you honest. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more recovery guidance. The complete Rebuilder's Divorce Recovery Workbook is available on Amazon, and I've put the link in the description below. It contains this exercise and dozens more that work together to help you move forward with clarity and self-compassion. Until next time, remember that you're not just recovering, rebuilding.